Hello there, thanks for joining Yin Yoga. And today we're working on a flow for the back and the hips. So if you've got a block or a cushion handy, and maybe a belt, and also maybe a wall, we can try some of the stretches or poses at the wall. So we're going to start in butterfly. We're working on the hips, so we'll be going through the 6 degrees of freedom, which is internal rotation, external rotation, abduction, adduction, flexion and extension. So we're going to start in the butterfly, which is bringing the soles of our feet together. And depending on how close you have your feet in towards the body will depend on how deep you feel the stretch in the inner thigh. So internally rotating the hips. So maybe experiment, we'll be holding each pose. There's only 7 or 8 poses in today's class, holding each pose for about 5 minutes. You can change the position of the feet, the head, the hands, and that will change the sensations in the stretches. So I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes in the butterfly. So I like to start with the sensations quite deep, more yang type butterfly. So that's drawing my chest forward and taking my knees down a little bit out to the outside. And breathing deeply, maybe closing the eyes, which will help you to focus more on the sensations. Take the feet forward a little bit to go into the more yin version. The feet forward and allowing the back to round, chin towards the chest. Allow gravity to draw us forward. out slowly, pressing the hands into the feet, lifting up, and then coming into the counter pose. So today the counter poses will focus on our hips and on our backs. So the windshield wipers, great for the hips, internally and externally rotating the hips. So we're taking our feet apart, our knees apart, knees down to the side, back to the centre, knees to the opposite side. So we don't stay in the counter poses too long, we're usually a bit more dynamic. Send that energy and circulation around mainly around the hips, maybe a little bit in the back. Okay, next, moving into a half pose, and depending where we put our feet in these will depend on the name of the pose. So I'll go through various options. Have your belt ready, and I'm going to prop myself up on a cushion to help elevate my pelvis forward. So we're keeping our left leg straight. With the right leg, we'll give you a couple of options. The right foot can come into the left thigh, taking out the left leg to the side. Then we're folding over the left leg. So we can take the belt around the sole of the left foot. We feel a stretch in the outer right hip, maybe the back of the left hamstring as well. So I'll give you the options. If you like the feel of the stretch, stay longer, and then we'll go through 5 minutes of different positions for the right leg. So we're just going to hold over that left leg for 6 deep breaths or a minute. And lifting up. So that one is half butterfly. So from here, or some people can call it half straddle. So you can either stay in half butterfly or half straddle, or bring the left leg to the centre and that right foot behind. Here I'll move the cushion back, so my back can rest on the cushion if I want to go into the full half saddle. So I can rest my hands back, and it doesn't matter if the knees here are together or the knees apart. You can relax back onto the elbows, or you can relax back fully onto the back, and then it becomes quite intense in that right hip flexor. So we'll just, if you want to hold here for another 6 breaths, we'll move back into half butterfly or half straddle. Press into the elbows to lift up slowly. That's 2 already. And then this one is the half shoelace. So we're bringing our right foot over our left knee, and then drawing the right foot so it's by the left hip. And half shoelace, You can either fold forward or lean back. I'm going to fold forward, again taking the belt around the sole of the left foot. And just see if I can bring my head onto the top knee, your right knee, or onto a block resting on the top knee. And again, a minute or 6 breaths. Lift up again. So we've done 3 postures with the left leg straight and the right leg in different positions. So we'll change sides. First of all, doing our counter pose of windshield wipers. So feet apart again, knees apart. Might not feel the tension as much as we do these now, as we're loosening off. We'll move over to our right side, right leg straight. So right leg out straight, left foot into the right thigh. And I like to take my right leg out as far as possible, taking the belt around the sole of the right foot and folding forward over the right leg. Hold for about 6 breaths or a minute. Does the half butterfly is feeling good, stay there, or move into the half saddle, so the right leg comes forward and the left foot goes back. So left ankle is by the left outer hip, so we can stay here lifting, or lean back onto the elbows, or lie completely back, a deeper stretch in the left hip flexors, and hold. If you're staying here for 6 breaths. Lift into the lift up, press into the elbows. It's quite tough, that one. And then into the half shoelace. So left foot here over the right knee, and then draw the left ankle so it's by the outer right hip. Again, rest the head on the cushion or knee. Belt around the sole of the right foot. Lift up slowly, release the belt, stretch out the legs. And then from here, the counter pose is the inclined plane. So pointing the toes forward or bending the legs with the feet into the floor. We're lifting up, breathing in, breathing out to lower. So 3 or 4 more. And lying on our backs for some dynamic reclining twists. So taking the arms out to the side, and here the feet are together, knees are together, knees down to the right, looking over the left fingers, knees to the centre, knees down to the left, looking over the right fingers. As you move the knees to one side, you notice the stretch up the opposite side, maybe the lower back, the outer hip. Bring the knees into the chest, and we make a circle with the knees. And change direction. And lifting up slowly onto all fours for our dragons. So from all fours, tabletop, stepping the right foot forward and inching the right toes more forward and the left toes back will give us a deeper stretch for the hips. So the outer right hip, the left hip flexor, the front of the left thigh. So first of all, staying in the just the low flying dragon. So stay here if you like, or we can move into the high flying dragon, bringing one hand at a time onto the right thigh. So more intense stretch for the hips here. If you want to make it even more intense, you would bring the left knee off the floor. But I'm not doing that today. So also here, just protect the knees by turning the mat under, so you've got a bit of cushioning for your left knee. If you're in the high flying dragon, we'll stay for another 6 breaths. Bringing the hands inside the right ankle and coming into the wing dragon. So we're turning the toes out and maybe even coming onto the outer edge of the right foot, and that right knee is winging out to the side. We can keep both hands into the floor, we can bring our left elbow down, we can press our right hand to gently ease the right knee away, we can look over the right shoulder. So there's many options. We can bring both elbows down but winging the right knee out. Personally, I find this one better for my shoulders and neck. If I'm holding here with pressing the right hand into the knee, it kind of impinges on my neck a little bit. I'll keep both elbows down. Bring ourselves out of the wing dragon slowly, walking the right toe just underneath the right shoulder, hands either side of the right foot, and then more dynamic movement for the back and the hips. So the fingertips pressing in, the chest forward, breathe in, and breathe out, we go into splits dragon. So the right heel is pressing into the floor, we're pushing our bottom back and our chest forward. Feel a deep stretch in the right hamstring and the right calf. And breathing in to come forward. The stretch might go into your left hip flexor. And breathe out to go into your dragon splits. And then alternate, moving forward, breathing in. Releasing the hips back, breathing out. And if you wanted to, you could walk the right heel a bit more forward. And stay for a few breaths, or go back into the low flying lunge. One more dragon stretch is for maybe a stretch in the calves, still working on the hip stretches. So we're easing our right toes back as far as they'll go, leaning over our right thigh and still pressing our right heel into the floor. So this one is the overstepping dragon. If we're not feeling much of a stretch in our right calf, we can pinpoint, maybe pressing the thumb in. into the hands, lift up slowly, and step the right foot back and the right knee down. The counter pose here is just opening up the back of the leg, stepping toes back, pressing the heel away. Moving into dragons with the left foot forward. So easing the left toes a little bit forward and turning the right toes under, easing them back. Remember, we can turn over our mat for the right knee, starting in the low flying dragon. If you feel like you want to open the chest a bit more, go into the high flying dragon, one hand at a time onto the left thigh, bring our chest forward and the shoulders back. Bringing both hands inside the left foot, going into the winged dragon. So turning the toes out to the left and the knee out to the left. Maybe try first of all on the outer edge of the left foot, or left foot presses into the floor, it's up to you. And again, different hand positions, so left hand could be gently easing the left knee away, and we're rotating our chest to the left. We could try bringing our right elbow to the floor, or we could bring both elbows to the floor. And stay in winged dragon if you like, or lift up and moving between the low flying dragon, chest forward, breathe in, and then dragon splits, taking the hips back, coming onto our left heel, pushing the toes towards the face, pushing the bottom back will intensify the stretch. Can stay in the dragon splits, can ease that left leg away, and we can move in and out, moving with the breath. to our last dragon, the overstepping dragon. So inching our toes back, keeping our left heel pressing into the floor and leaning over that left thigh. You can look forward, or you can bring your chin towards your chest and take the head side to side. The neck feels a little bit tense. Lifting up slowly, stepping the left foot back, left knee down. And counter pose here can be stepping those legs out straight one at a time, or lifting up into a gentle down dog. Lifting the knees off, chest through to the thighs, walking the dog maybe. One heel presses in, one leg straightens, one leg bends. And bring the knees back to the mat. So next we've got the full straddle, which can be done 2 ways, and the caterpillar, which can be done 3 ways. So I'll show you the seated versions first. So the seated versions are my favourite, so I would stay in these. So the straddle first is sitting with the feet as wide apart as they'll go and folding forward. And I would sit on a cushion or a block. You can alternate between the straddle and the caterpillar. So the caterpillar is with the legs together and folding forward. You can do that seated. So the caterpillar can be done lying on our backs with a belt around the soles of the feet. We can even bring our tailbone to rest on the cushion, which will be a little bit of elevation for the hips. Well, the other option, which I find more restful, more rejuvenating, is with the legs at the wall. So I'm taking my left side to the wall, and then lying, kind of rotating to lie on my back with my feet up the wall. So I'm going to spend 3 minutes in caterpillar with the legs straight up, and then I'll move after that into the straddle with the feet wide apart. So if you are lying with your legs up the wall, make sure the whole of the back is completely flat. If your hamstrings are tight, you'll need to shuffle slightly away from the wall.
So whichever one you've chosen, we want to be breathing at least a 10-second breath. So that will be inhaling for 4, pausing for 1, and exhaling for 4, and pausing again before you inhale. You can make that 10-second breath even deeper to 12 or 14, whatever ratio works for you. So changing, we're going into the straddle. By taking the feet as wide apart as they'll go. Rest your hands on your tummy to notice the rise and fall of the belly. coming out of straddle, bringing the feet together, bringing the knees into the chest, and finishing with a reclining twist for our backs and hips. So arms are out like a T shape. Take the knees down to the right hand side, look over the left fingertips, and slowing the breathing down. Bring the knees back to the centre, and take the knees down to the left. Look over your right fingertips. Draw our knees back to the centre, and take the knees apart and keep the feet together as we kind of take the feet away, draw the knees into the chest. As we articulate our spine, so we're curling the spine up as we bring the knees into the chest, and we're flattening the spine as we take the knees away. Only take the knees away about where the hips are. And finishing in constructive rest with our knees together and our feet apart. With the hands resting on the tummy. Focus on 4, 7, 8 breath. So inhale for 4, tummy rises. Hold for 7, tummy stays still. Breathe out for 8, tummy releases. Feel the back release as well on your breath out. the 4-7-8 breathing behind. Bring the knees into the chest. Extend the left leg along the floor, hooking the right knee in. Change sides, left knee in, right leg along the floor. Both knees in. Bring our knees down to the side. Pause there for a moment. Press into the hand to lift up slowly. To seated. And take the fingertips out to the side. Take a deep breath in and stretch up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slower. Shake out the shoulders. Thank you for joining. And hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye.